Unless you've actually been through it, I don't think you can really understand. In Illinois and Chicago, there were all these homeless people who you had to walk by every day. I remember seeing bag ladies, people walking around with their shopping cart. And I remember saying to somebody, I'm one paycheck away from being a bag lady. And little did I know how close I was. I became homeless when I lost my job and couldn't find any other job, and I couldn't pay rent, so I had no alternative but to take to my car and then try to go from there. I was a legal administrative assistant to a very fancy law firm right on Pennsylvania Avenue, and with the economic downturn, they let go 136 staff. The first time I ended up being homeless, that first day, it was frightening. As a woman, you wonder about your safety. You wonder what you're going to do, and then you try to pull yourself together emotionally and try to be practical. And that's when I tried to reach out for help. If FACETS hadn't been here, there'd be no safety. They helped me tremendously, and the FACETS evidently started with feeding the homeless through a truck, going around and making certain stops and making sure that people weren't starving. So that was a real refuge for me. Of course, day to day, you can't dress up and you try not to look homeless. Just to go through an entire day, I remember getting so tired because just the act of trying to get a bath somewhere and figure out things in your car that are all piled up and get to items and get what you need, figure out where you can eat, even try to get on the internet, find the library to apply for jobs. I had thought that most homeless people had alcohol problems or were mentally ill, but it's really not the case. This past summer, I was sitting in a park area, and a businessman came out in his car, and he started mocking me. And I guess he knew right away I was homeless. I went up to his car in a nice way, and I said, "Look, sir, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not mentally ill. I'm just a woman college graduate who lost her job, just trying to find a job." So it was terrible that I had to feel I should defend myself to some cruel man like that. But part of me felt I had to say something like, "Look, I'm not mentally ill or a drug addict. I'm just an honest citizen who's out of work and going through a bad time." One time I asked another gal, I said, "Why do they hate the homeless?" And she said, "Because they're scared. They don't want to be like us someday." And I thought that was a good insight, because maybe some of these people who see us down and out realize that they're maybe one or two paychecks away. And when they see someone like us, homeless, down and out, it's like they are almost seeing themselves in the future. Like, wow, that could be me. So they turn their head away from it and act almost like they hate us because we're a reminder of what might happen to them. Some of the people that know I'm homeless, they always say, "What a wonderful attitude you have." And, then part of me thinks, yeah, but you don't know me. And once in a while, the reality hits me. Yeah, you're really in a car. I can understand where people get down. And, the old question, "Oh, God, why is this happening to me? I mean, did I commit some terrible sin?" And I try to deal with that, not feel sorry for myself, but focus on the future and realize that I'm valuable. Just because I'm not making money and I'm not in a house doesn't mean that I'm less of a human being. There are more people who don't have addiction problems or are mentally ill, people who have lost jobs, and next thing you know, they're destitute. And there is a changing face of homelessness.